Are you tired of feeling like your Instagram bio just isn't cutting it? Do you wonder how some profiles and some businesses instantly grab attention when yours feels, well, a little uninspiring? Then I have good news. In today's episode, we're going to transform your Instagram bio from blah to brilliant with simple, actionable tips that you can implement right away. So, whether you're a seasoned business owner or just starting out, this episode is packed with insights to help you stand out in the crowded world of social media. But before we dive in, I just want to say thank you for taking the time to tune in to show up and be heard. The podcast that exists to help women like you simplify your business and your life so that you can stop feeling so overwhelmed. I'm your host, Becci McAvoy, owner and founder of Be Heard Socials, and I am an award-winning social media marketer and international speaker who specialises in content strategy and organic growth on social media. That's the growth you get on social media without paying for ads. If you want to cut through the noise and the BS and get practical, actionable advice tailored specifically to make social media marketing accessible and easy to understand, or if you want to be part of a supportive community where women entrepreneurs can feel connected and inspired to achieve their dreams, well then keep listening because you are in the right place. To be the first to find out when new episodes go live and get more tips like the ones you hear in this podcast, make sure you join my email community through the link in the show notes. All right then, let's get started with this week's episode. Now, I know that social media can feel overwhelming, especially when you are managing everything on your own. And that is exactly why this podcast exists, to make it easy and simple and take away the stress and tell you what you need to focus on and what perhaps you can deprioritize and put down your to-do list a little bit. So today I'm going to be talking to you about your Instagram bio and how to get it right. And trust me when I say this is something that you do want to spend a little bit of time on. To get right, because it's like your digital business card. It's the first impression people get, and it can either draw them in or it can push them away. So I'm going to go through a few key things that you need and outline some simple actionable tips that you can take and do straight after this episode, or even whilst it's playing if you want to. Whilst I'm in your ears, you could be doing it right there and then. So grab a pen and paper if you want to write down some notes, or open up your Instagram bio and have a look at what's on yours as I'm talking, or just listen along, enjoy it and come back to it later when you need it. So I'm going to kick off with the why, because that's really important for me, as you all know. So let's understand why your Instagram bio is so important. Well, quite simply put, when someone lands on your profile, you've got literally seconds to capture their attention. People's attention spans are very short and people are very lazy. So you kind of need to think of your bio as your elevator pitch. It should be clear, it should be concise, and it should be compelling, and it should make people want to follow you. Because when you use all the features that are available to you and you follow some of the tips in this episode to make sure that your profile is fully optimized, it all helps. And when you do it, it's far more likely that someone landing on your page or finding your page will hit that follow button too. So I'm just going to dive straight in with the actionable tips that you can take to nail your Instagram bio. So first things first, my first tip, your profile photo should be a picture of you. So I want to know, are you guilty of hiding behind your business name and logo? I get it. So many people feel uncomfortable putting themselves out there, but the hard truth is that people buy from people and people want to know the face behind the brand. Social media is designed to be social on. So having your profile picture be a clear picture of you is just a fundamental. It allows your followers to get to know the face behind the business. You will help to build that all important know, like, and trust that we've already been speaking about. And honestly, it just makes it all more personal when you're lined up in a row of stories, or when you're coming up on people's feed, or when people go and see your profile and they see a nice smiling face. They want to see who they're talking to. It just makes the whole thing nicer. So it's a really simple thing that you can go away and do. It will take you seconds, maybe a little bit longer if you haven't got a photo, but just get a nice head and shoulders shot of you so that people can see your lovely smiling face. Your logo can be shown elsewhere on your page and your content if you want to, but not in your profile photo. Your profile photo should be a picture of you. So that's the first thing I want you to do. I want you to go away, and if you haven't already, make sure your profile photo is a photo of your lovely face. Okay, so next tip, which kind of is the same thing when I said, are you guilty of hiding behind your business name and logo? Put your real name in the name field. I've said it before and I'll say it again. In fact, I think I said it seconds ago. People buy from people. So letting your followers know your name makes you more personable. It makes you easier to connect with. It means that when people reach out and message you, they can say hello, and they feel like they know who they're talking to a little bit more. So yeah, put your real name in there. But not only that, the name field is really, really powerful. Your name field is searchable. So you need to include some keywords as well. And this is crucial because they make your profile discoverable, which is what we all want. So you want to think about what your potential clients or customers are searching for and incorporate those words into the name field as well, alongside your real name. But remember, when I say this, keep it natural. You don't want your bio to sound like a list of buzzwords. And you don't want hashtags in there. You don't want hashtags in there actually for lots of reasons. Partly because you want it to look natural and authentic, like I just said, but also you don't want to be directing the people that are landing on your profile to places where your competitors are or other businesses are. You don't want to be sending them anywhere else. You want to keep them on your page. So yeah, don't include a hashtag in any of your bio, but also don't just list a load of buzzwords because you want it to look natural. So for example, mine says Becci, Instagram expert, content strategy and organic growth queen, because I am a queen. I don't know how many people will be searching for that, but the other words in there are keywords of mine, which means that people can find me if they search for any of those words. But it doesn't just look like I've thrown a load of words together. I've spoken about what I do, and I've basically said, this is my name and this is my title. Becci, Instagram expert, content strategy and organic growth queen. So yeah, make sure your name field has your real name and some keywords in it, not just the name of your business. And think about the keywords your ideal clients would use to find someone like you and include them too. So for example, if you're a life coach, they're not likely to be searching for life coach, but they might be searching for imposter syndrome or anxiety or mindfulness or things like that. And that's where you can put some of those words after the title. So thinking about what you do. If you are a personal trainer, they might be searching for personal trainer, but they're probably not going to be searching for personal trainer. So think about the type of things you do, like strength training or strength conditioning, or me getting all these words wrong, but that kind of thing. You know what people are searching for, you know your audience. So think about what words they search for and then make that naturally fit into your name field. So yeah, that is the second tip. Go away and put your real name in your bio if it's not there already, and make sure that you've got keywords in there. And that is so crucial because that will help you get discovered. Okay, so tip number 3. Think about what sets you apart from others in your field and highlight what you do and how you help people. So yeah, highlight what you do and how you help people. This could be what sets you apart from others in your field. It could be your unique approach, your personal story, a specific niche you serve. It could be your experience, awards, or qualifications. And this can sit under the little bit of text underneath your name field. That's where you can highlight what you do and how you help people. Now, you've got a certain character count on your name field and in this section, so you do need to keep it short and sweet. So you want to get the main things in there. So, for example, on my LinkedIn bio, I talk about the fact that I'm an award-winning social media marketer. I don't actually do that on my Instagram bio because it takes up too many characters. So you want to think about the main message you want to get across. And sometimes I have it as a regular reminder to myself in Asana. Actually, I use Asana to manage my life. It's a project management tool. And I have a regular reminder in there to review my bio. And sometimes I will change it to say award-winning because I might want to emphasize that at that point. But yeah, you want to think about what you do and how you help people, and anything you want to add in there that adds that social proof and builds that trust, like winning awards, for example. You want to be specific and genuine. And again, like I said before, you want to make it sound natural. So for example, because it is very limited characters on Instagram, mine says, I make marketing your business on social media simple and less overwhelming, either in group settings or through one-to-one support. Short, sweet, and to the point. I make marketing your business on social media simple and less overwhelming. That's what I do. either in group settings or through one-to-one support. That's how I do it and how I help people. And it's really short, sweet, and to the point. Which leads me on to my next point, because the next bit in that little blurb underneath my name field is a clear call to action. So this is really important because it guides the people landing on your profile with what to do next, whether it's visiting your website, booking a discovery call, checking out your latest product or services, whatever it might be. A clear call to action can make all the difference. Like I said, for example, it could say book a free discovery call. It could say shop our new collection below. Remember, bringing your limited on characters as well. So you want to use those characters for the biggest point you want to make. And it doesn't even have to be about buying. It could also be about why people should follow you. So if you're not selling anything at that point, it could say follow for tips and advice, and so on. Mine literally says, because I was limited on characters, so where I've just said, I make marketing your business on social media simple and less overwhelming, either in group settings or through one-to-one support. Find out how, or more, I think it might say actually, find out more, with a little emoji pointing down. And then that points down to the link that is in my bio, which I will come on to in a moment for tip number 5. But yeah, you want a clear call to action there. So you want to tell people what they have to do next. And then the final thing that we're going to go into in today's episode, we are going to touch on some of the other stuff in future episodes because I want to dive into them in more detail. The final thing we are going to talk about is the link. So you can include a link in your bio. Now, it is incredibly difficult, and you will see lots of advice out there saying you should no longer say link in bio. You should say this, that, or the other, but it is really important that you have a link in the bio. And I don't actually believe you shouldn't be saying link in bio. That is multifaceted and not one size fits all advice. And that is why if you were on a call with me in my membership, or you're having an Empower Hour with me, if you said, should my call to action in my post be link in bio, or should it be something else, I'd ask you several questions back. But the important thing is it's a clickable link. It's a place on your Instagram that you can have a clickable link. So put that link in there. That could be going through to your website or to your booking page, or you could have something like I have, and I'll include a link in the show notes actually, so that you can see mine, where it's a page that directs you to a list of links. So you don't want to be changing it constantly, and you do want to be talking about lots of stuff on your profile. So mine, I've made a pretty link because I use a WordPress website where it says beheadsocials.com/links. And that's always the link in my bio. And I've personalized that. Like I said, you can see it in the show notes. You can go through and have a look. The only reason people are going to find that is if they've come from a call to action on social media. So at the top of that page, it says, thank you so much for coming out to check out my link in bio. I'm assuming you've come across from one of my social media posts. You will find the link below that you're looking for. And then it's a link of everything they might need. So it includes joining the membership. It includes my free downloads. It includes my blogs. It includes anything that I might have directed people to. And that's a really good way to do it, because you're not having to, like I said, I review my bio regularly, and the link in bio is something that I also review regularly through an Asana task. But I don't have to change it that often because I've got the list of links. Now, I do that through my website. And I do that through my website because it's important to drive traffic to your website. You don't want to be driving traffic externally elsewhere if you don't have to. I have a website, so I have a page on my website for it. However, if you don't have a website, you can use tools such as Linktree. Linktree will help you set up a free link in bio, and you can list all of that. You can also use Canva. So if you go on Canva and search templates for Instagram link page or Instagram link in bio, it will come up with templates. And there's ways in Canva when you go into that document that you can add, you can basically design it in the way that the Canva template has given you, and you can create a website. It's one of the incredible things about Canva. You can turn it into a web page and add links in there, and you can use that link to put into your link in bio. And you might want to shorten it. You might want to make it into so that you don't have a big long Canva link in there. That's a whole different thing, but you can get the link from that Canva page and link people to that the same way. They're the two most popular ways to do it when people don't have a website. either through Linktree or through Canva. And they're really, really powerful. They're really helpful. And like I said, it just means you don't have to update it quite so much. You can include all the links that you need in there that you might direct people to. Which kind of leads me on to, I guess, my final point in this tip, which is my final tip. I quite often get asked, should you only have 2 or 3 or 3 to 5, or what's the magic number of links that you should have in your link in bio if you've got one of those link pages? I have quite a few links in my bio. Lots of marketers will tell you that you shouldn't, because you want to keep people, like, you want people to find it straight away, and you want to make it really easy. So if there's less links, there's less for people to look at. Now, I'm not saying don't do that, because again, like I said, I would have a conversation with you if you asked me whether you should do that, and ask you questions back. However, my sort of general advice, I guess, as far as a general advice goes, and the reason that I do it, where I have lots of links in there, is that the only reason people have gone to that page is because they've seen a call to action on one of my social media posts. That they can't find that anywhere else on my website, or I don't refer to it anywhere else. So they're deliberately going there to find the link that they're looking for. So it's not like they'll lose interest as quickly, because they are actually trying to find it. There's not so many links on there that they have to scroll through hundreds of them. So often, all I need to do when I'm trying to update my link in bio, or I get the reminder in Asana to say, is it still, do you need to change anything in there? I go in there and I have a look at it. And sometimes I just change the order of it. So the thing I'm promoting or launching, or whatever it might be at that time. So say, for example, I'm launching Bossy Socials Club, I make that the first link to click. If I'm going heavy on downloading one of my free downloads, I would put that at the top of the list. If I'm trying to encourage people to book me as a guest speaker, I would put that at the top of the list. So it's the first thing they find. I don't actually have to do a lot of editing to it. So yeah, that's why I say don't put hundreds on there, but don't feel like you can only put X number on there, because there isn't a magic number. And generally, if it's a link in bio, they've gone there deliberately to find that information. So I think it's okay. Like I said, I would have a one-to-one conversation with you to make that answer specific to you, but I think that serves pretty well as general advice. Okay, so let's recap the formula for a perfect Instagram bio, or let's recap over the tips that I have just given you. Your profile photo should be a picture of you, not your logo, and not anything else, a picture of you. You should put your real name in the name field and use keywords strategically to help people discover you. You should highlight what you do and how you help people. You should include a clear call to action of what you want them to do next. And finally, you should include a link in your bio to send them off for more information, or to do the things you want them to do from your posts. So that's quite a short and sweet episode. I hope these tips help you. Some of the other things from your bio or from your profile page, it's really important to get right, are your highlights and your pin posts. But we will dive into those at a later episode, because I want to go into those in quite a lot of detail. So rather than making this a really long episode, go away and implement some of the tips that I've given you today. And in a future episode, we will look at highlights on Instagram and using pinned posts strategically. So yeah, tune in and subscribe to find out more about that at a future point. Thank you so much for listening to Show Up and Be Heard, but please don't go without telling me your name. I genuinely love meeting new people and making new connections. So if you don't already, I'd love it if you'd come find me on Instagram, LinkedIn or Facebook and drop me a message to say hello and let me know what you thought of the episode. The link to all my socials are in the show notes. And of course, if you enjoyed this episode or found it useful, then I'd really appreciate it if you could take just a few minutes to give it a review on whatever platform you are listening on, because everyone I get really does make me do a little squeal and a big happy dance. Finally, more than anything else, please always remember, realizing that you're not actually meant to do this stuff alone is the first step to making it easier. So I'll see you next time.